So we go back 4 years. I actually got to Mont Harmon at the start of that. The district knew that Mont Harmon was in a place where it needed some changes to happen.
The culture of Mont Harmon was pretty down. When you walk through the halls, you could almost feel like a negative vibe.
We talked about students who we were having trouble with, but we never got around to solutions.
I remember being in 6th grade and every time we had a sub, so many kids were disrespectful and they'd be rude and mess around. And even with our regular teachers, they were disrespectful most of the time.
I think the best word to describe what was going on here was a culture of apathy for both the students and some of the teachers, where they just didn't care about the results of most things going on.
The students, I don't think most of them cared very much.
I felt like being part of the staff, it was more about jumping through hoops and checking boxes and getting through the day.
So I actually got here the first year before we knew we were in to turn around. Looked at the data, knew we were in trouble then. Looked at the culture. Before my first day of school here, I had spent time at the restaurants downtown talking to businesses and talking to parents to see what the culture of Mont Harmon was. Knew we had some concerns. A lot of the parents talked about that Mont Harmon was a place their students would survive to get to the high school. That looking at scores, they'd spent the last 2 years as a D school, really thought we would be an F school. When we looked at, and the other teachers realized that we hadn't looked at data for 2 years, they didn't even know what their grades had been for the past 2 years. So it wasn't their fault. So we had to make that first change. One, to look at data, know where we were. And then the big one, let's change the culture.
We put in place a positive behavior system across the board. It had an impact on the students, but I think the bigger impact was on the teachers. We had to look for positive things in students every single day.
Instead of just strictly departments, it's being able to work together more as grades also, and being able to see what we can do for those students.
In our 7th grade year, around the end, the second term, the teachers started using the X's and the parties. I think that's kind of got students motivated because they really wanted the party, so they wanted to work hard and they didn't want to mess around, because they knew that if they didn't mess around, they'd get rewarded.
So our first step was getting those common assessments together. Second was actually looking at that data and then going back and reteaching, changing what we were doing to make those changes so that our lessons were more effective, that we were reaching students that we weren't normally reaching.
The staff we have now is on board. We have our mental models that we talk about where the students know exactly what they're being taught. They know with the mastery grading that they can come in and get help anytime they want, that it's not a cut and dry, it's not about points, it's about learning, it's about teaching. Now we're to a place where it's all about students, it's all about growth, but there's not one teacher in this staff that's content, and that's exciting.
You know, for some people, success is scary because you have to maintain it. But I love that because it pushes all of us.
There's no limits to how well we can do. If we keep it up at how we are and how well we're working together, and with our goal for helping these students, I think it's going to get even better.
Someone once told me that if you enjoy what you do every day, you'll never work a day in your life. And I truly believe that is my career here at Mont Harmon.
In the next 3-4 years, well, we're still growing, we're still changing our culture. I mean, we've been very successful so far in changing how our students look at work. I think we still have a lot to go on.
Really excited and happy. I just know that we've improved so much.
A lot of times when you're into your 4th, 5th year as a principal, you start saying, you know what, things are running. We're where we want to be. We can kind of relax. This staff has their foot on the pedal. And I truly believe that we are not even close to where we can be or where we want to be. I tell this staff every day we meet. I tell my friends in administration around the state, this school has the ability to be that elite school that people come and see, that school that's getting an A every year. The next 5 years, I hope I'm here to see it and to push it, because this staff that we have right now at Mont Harmon is amazing. And Mont Harmon is a great place. It's a great place to be right now.